Ariel Helwani in San Jose, California, just days away now from UFC on Fox 7 alongside Gilbert El Nino Melendez, who of course faces Benson Henderson for the UFC Lightweight Championship this Saturday night, live and free on Fox. And Gilbert, I got to say, walking here to the HP Pavilion, you've had so many fights here. You're 7-1 in this building. You fought for Strikeforce for so long. I just saw you on a marquee in Times Square, but it's all UFC related. Is it somewhat surreal after seeing you for so long in Strikeforce and fighting here and trying to get that respect? Is it somewhat weird being here just a couple days away from a huge UFC fight?
Yeah, it is. You know, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. But yeah, it's crazy. You know, like you said, and people are texting me pictures of billboards all over, and it's really neat. But you know, as soon as the fight starts, it'll just be another fight.
You know what I find so interesting about this is, well, you know, for so long it felt like you kind of had a chip on your shoulder, like you wanted that respect. You were thinking about the UFC, trying to push to get noticed, and once you stopped caring, then it came. Did you notice that?
Exactly, man. I mean, I remember after, you know, I was kind of a squeaky wheel for a while trying to campaign, and then, you know, a little bit just, you know, crybaby a little. But after the Thompson fight, I was like, you know what? I kind of accepted it, and I had a new mentality, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're right. It's a roller coaster ride, and now I'm fighting in the UFC for the title, man. You know, it's hilarious if you ask me.
That fight, you know, you got some boos in this building because of what you said afterwards, because of your performance, et cetera, et cetera. How do you think you'll be received by this crowd here?
You know what? I think it's going to be a lot of Bay Area love here. You know, California love, you know, all around right here. And, you know, it's not about me. It's about bringing this title to California. I think everyone's going to be behind me.
Do you get any kind of advantage fighting again in this building, a building that you know so much about?
Yeah, it's an unfamiliar octagon, but a very familiar place for me to fight. These locker rooms, this room we're in right now, you know, the center of that shark tank right there, it's very familiar for me. I think you know, I think I like that.
You never fought inside an octagon. Do you have to train for something like that? I mean, the hexagon is very close to the octagon, but is that something you have to care about?
I mean, just a little bit more foot room, a little bit more running room, and I think, you know, I had to, you know, in my gym, I had to kind of like tape out, you know, the size of the octagon out there to kind of get my footwork and to notice how big the cage is. You know, it's about 3 steps to the middle of the hexagon. It's about a good 4 steps to the middle right here to meet someone in the middle. So, you know, just an extra running room and just a little thing to deal with, you know, cutting people off. So it's something you got to, you know, get a little bit used to.
Your team is a very close one, the Scrap Pack, right? In the last 2 years, you've all had title shots, but Jake, Nick, Nate, unfortunately, all lost those shots. Do you feel like you're kind of the guy who can get it done? It might be the only chance for a long time for your team.
Yeah, I feel like I can get it done, you know what I mean? And it'd be nice to bring it back for the team. You know, is it like something that's totally motivating me? You know, yeah, a little bit. You know, I'm trying to avenge for my buddy and represent for the team, but, you know, I'm eager to do this for myself as well.
Benson has looked almost unbeatable as champion. I mean, he's had some moments against Frankie and whatnot, but he looks very tough and very durable, great cardio, all that stuff. What holes do you see in his game?
Well, you know, like I've been saying, I think, you know, I'm willing to take a punch to give a punch, you know what I mean? And I think maybe I'll even take 2 to give 1, you know, and I think I can give it a little bit harder than he could, and I think I could take a little bit better than he could. So I'd say that's the difference.
Will the Strikeforce belt make an appearance on Saturday? Because this is a unification bout, right?
I mean, I wouldn't say that, you know, I would like it to be unification, you know, but, you know, the truth is I'm walking into some new territory, and this is his belt, you know, and he's the champion of this show, and I'm the challenger, and that's just what it is, and I'm okay with that, you know. I think a lot of people are trying to fight that battle for me, but that's not the battle I'm really worried about, you know.
So you don't care about that stuff. You just want to go in and have the fight that you've been asking for so long.
Exactly. This is my chance to prove, if, you know, or find out if I'm undoubtedly #1 right here. And, you know, it's a great opportunity. I think I match up well, and I'm eager to find out.
And finally, you know, going back to the first point, because you've been asking for this for so long, do you almost feel like it comes at the right time for you? Like maybe back then it wasn't meant to be, but now does it feel like it's meant to be?
Yeah, it definitely does, you know, but honestly, I feel like I could have been, you know, challenging for this title in the last, you know, 3-4 years, you know, maybe 6 years, you know what I mean? I've been in top 3 in my weight class for a long time, you know what I mean? So I feel like I've been challenging it for a long time, but yeah, it does feel like the right time. You know, things, you know, the stars aligned perfectly for this one, and I think I'm ready, and everything went really well. There's no excuses here. I'm prepared.
Thank you, Gilbert, and good luck on Saturday.
Hey, thank you, Ariel.